Hello, my fellow geeks. Today we're going to look at another quadcopter. This is the Eachine E50 quadcopter. So we looked at the E010, which I think is a great little machine. This one's a little bit different because this one, you see the box is a little bit smaller, does not come with a controller. That's because it is Wi-Fi controlled, which I think some people are going to be interested in. They don't want a controller. There are a couple neat things about this. I'll say I've opened this box already because I really appreciate it. On the box it says, attention, this battery will take 2 hours to charge. So I actually have already taken it out and charged it and gotten it ready to go. So in the box we have an instruction manual. It's actually a pretty good instruction manual because you're using an app. There are a lot of features. It's a little more complicated. I actually really appreciated the manual and it helped me get everything going. In here we have the quadcopter itself. That's actually the quadcopter. It's really, really small. And the accessories. So look at the accessories first. Comes with a velvet bag that's actually pretty nice for storing the quadcopter. We have extra accessories. So we have extra gears that I'm assuming go in the arms, and then extra propellers. Just one extra set, but it's enough. It's nice to actually have those. And then a USB charger. This is USB and it uses the same T-style connector off of a Hubsan. I don't know exactly what those are called, but I will say my other adapter that I've got actually will use these same ports, so I will show that here later. So now for the quadcopter itself, here it is. It's really simple and it has foldable arms. So this is a foldable arm quadcopter, which is really nice. These just kick out and it has a camera. So not only do you control it with the iPhone or Android, you actually also can see. So it's an FPV camera. So we're going to be checking that out and seeing how it looks. But it makes it really nice. The bag should be really nice. I haven't tried this yet, but we should be able to just put this in here, and it makes it nice and portable. So if what I could see is if I'm going somewhere and I may just need to be able to see somewhere that I can't get to. Theoretically, I could have this in my pocket in this little bag, and I could just pull it out, pop out the arms, connect it to my phone, and go fly up and take a look at whatever it is I need to look at. It's pretty slick. It's pretty small. I don't know how well that would really work, but the theory is really, really nice. So we've got the battery. I will say I did charge this already. The battery compartment is here. It's nice. It's enclosed. The first time getting this open, it was really, really difficult. I actually had to put something in the little slot here, which it's nice the slot was there. I couldn't push it here, and then it pops open, and then the little door slides open here. So the first time, it was really, really difficult to get open. But once I did, it's been easy ever since. So here's the battery. It's a single cell 500 milliamp battery. It's much bigger than we had on the Eachine 010. So we have it charged. It's also a different connector, but we have it charged and ready to go. You can get extra batteries. They were about $5, so I would recommend keeping a couple of spares around. So one thing I want to check real quick as for a comparison, this is the charger that I've reviewed in another video. There'll be a link to it. And this charger, what I'm thinking is these batteries are much smaller, but these came with adapters. I'm thinking if I pull these adapters out, this will be able to plug in right there. Yep, it will. So that's great. And even though these batteries are different sizes, this same charger will also work for these batteries. So if I get several of them, I can connect them. And theoretically, I should be able to connect in whatever types of batteries I want independently. So I can plug this in. And these actually stop. They don't care about how big the battery is. They'll stop when they get to a certain voltage. So this same battery will work with these chargers, which is really nice. I can just carry this around with me and fly a combination of the E50 and the E010. So I really like that. Makes this an even better investment for the, like $12 or $15 that I paid for it. Well worth it. Okay, so now we'll put the battery in, which is a really easy process. You just slide this door open. I already talked about the problems I had with that. And there is a little port right here that you can just barely see in the light. Right there where this plugs in. That's probably the least favorite thing I've seen about this. It's a little hard to get to. So you can get that in, and I've got fingernails, thankfully, so I can push it in properly. It flashes. I've probably hit the button already. So we will get this in and ready to go. Put the battery in. It's a little difficult. I had a little difficult time putting the battery in. This compartment is pretty small for this. So there we go. That'll work. Get the wire out of the way. And I really like the door. It's only plastic. It might break on you at some point, but then we'll turn it off. So it's got a power button on it, which is nice. A lot of these don't have power buttons. So what I've got here now is this actually connects to your phone via Wi-Fi. So you have to power it on, get it going here, and then it will show up in your list. Choose a network, and the Eachine actually shows up and able to connect. So it should just pair them together. There we go. It connected. So now we're actually, my iPad is connected to the quadcopter. So then we have the Wi-Fi UFO app, which is an app you can just download. It's free, and click play. So there we go, already in place. We're paired, we're connected, and the camera's in place. So you can see the camera here. It's Wi-Fi, so it's not going to be super fast. You can see how dirty the desk is and how much stuff is going on here. But so here with the app, we have a number of options. I can take a picture. Yes, I'm going to allow it to use my photos. So here we go, take a picture. I can turn on video, which is nice in that scenario where I was talking about needing to be able to go and record something I can't see. I actually can record a video. I don't have to look at it live. I don't remember what that does, but then the manual, like I mentioned, is actually really good about showing what that is. That one is the document. I'm not sure what that is. Is that playback? Oh yeah, it'll play back my previous videos and pictures. So have control rates. It has 30, 60, and 100%. So if you're just learning this is new, 30% is the way to go. I've flown it once just to see what it was like, and it's pretty quick at 100. Number 6 is altitude hold. So this is actually what sets it so you can lock it in a certain altitude. Very convenient if you're doing additional training and whatnot. Gravity induction. I'm not sure what that is, honestly. So this is defaults to off. For some reason, it defaults to off. I want to see the controls, and it defaults to not being able to see the controls, which is very, very odd to me. Yeah, so probably the most important thing on the side here is the calibration. So you press that, it will flash, it calibrates when it's flat, and now it's leveled out, which should theoretically make it much better to fly. The other option is headless mode, which is, I don't use headless mode on my quadcopters. Headless mode means it knows which way it's facing, so when you take off, pushing away from you stays away. Even if you turn the quadcopter, the controls are weird, so it's always facing comparison to the way you're looking at it, not the way it's facing. It's an odd way of controlling if you've never had it before. I've never used it on anything before, but I have used it here, which is kind of nice. Yeah. So in order to take off, you have to unlock the altitude hold, and then it unlocks these buttons at the bottom. So I have, can't see with the light. So I have takeoff, stop, and land. So what you need to do is press the up arrow button, and then the motors will kick on. If I push up, it will just go up to a different altitude. And if I pull down, then it'll go down. There it stopped because I didn't do any control within a certain amount of time. You can also hit the stop button just to stop it immediately. If it's going somewhere you don't expect, you just hit stop and it will stop. If you're flying in this mode and you want to land it, you hit the down arrow and it will land. So now we're going to go look at a flight. Okay, so here we go. We have the quadcopter ready for a flight. We are bound. We can see it. I will say I expect these controls to be a little odd just because it's so big and a little awkward, but we're going to try it anyway. I will record so we can see what the flight footage looks like. So we are now recording, and we'll go from here. Let's give it a shot. So we'll hit an up arrow, and we're going to push up. Oh. So it did take off and go left quite a bit right off the bat, but I may need to just calibrate again, which I didn't do. So we'll try controls. The rotation is good. It actually looks pretty good. The speed on 30% is acceptable. The video, I suppose I should look at the FPV video, is not great, I'll say. It's a little hard to see. It might be a little bit delayed, which is a problem. So let's see if we can do a flight around with it. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, it's definitely being used to more traditional FPV. I'll say it's very weird. Whoa. There we go. So yeah, it's definitely not a replacement for an FPV racer. So I felt like the Eachine E50 deserved one more chance with a full battery, since none of the last video really had a full battery in it. So I've got it charged up. You'll be able to actually see I did use that multi-charger that I was talking about. It worked great, so I really like having that if I get more batteries for this, which is one is on the way from China still. It'll be really nice for that so I can keep everything charged. But so here, I'm just going to do one more flight. I'm going to hit record so we can see what it looks like, and we will go. So part of what I've learned is this quad is not an FPV racer. So I do FPV racing, and it's great. But that's not what this is. It really does need to stay within line of sight. And if you fly it as a line of sight quad, it can actually be really good for the most part. So instead of looking at the camera, which is a little too dark, I can see the quad, but then the recording is really where the trick is. It does a really good job recording, and then if I need to, in a pinch, I can take a look at the camera and see where things are going. But there, I'm still just on 30% rates, and I've got really, really good control over it. So we want to go over and take a look at the, let's see. We want to go take a look at the disaster of a toy area for the kids. We can do that and see what's going on. And it looks pretty good. I've got pretty good control. I forgot to calibrate it again, so that is one thing you definitely need to make sure you do. But I forgot it in this case, and it's still all right. So we're going to try the higher rate. We're taking it up to 100%, and now we'll see how it flies by comparison. Whoa, that was close. See? It's actually, wow, it's a lot quicker than I expected. That's a big difference. Whoa. So I'm not used to these controls yet, but on a second flight now, with it at high speed, it's pretty good. It'd also be better, I think, on a phone. This iPad control is way too big. But overall, yeah, that's actually a lot better. So it's I would call it not an FPV quad. You can use it as FPV. Definitely wouldn't do it. I'm curious outside, it might be alright. If the area was a whole lot brighter, it might be okay for full FPV. But here in my basement, it's just not bright enough. Oh, there, I hit the wall, and it's still going. Hey, actually, I'm really surprised. It sounds a little different. Oh, the arms moved in. So now, what we'll do is we'll go down and land it, and you need a bigger area than a pool table to land on. Pool table is not a big enough surface area. So there, even with a wall collision, it actually did really well. It honestly flew a lot better than I expected. I'm going to run this through. I'm curious to see now on a full battery, how long will it fly? So we're actually going to take it back up, and we're going to finish that test. We probably won't make you watch the whole thing. The second flight, I liked it a whole lot better. Not trying to use it with FPV. I really want to take it outside during the day and see how it works with FPV. I think it will be much better. I do think it doesn't have a wide enough lens on it for true FPV. Oh, and one more thing I want to show here. I don't think I did very well. Here's the camera, and actually when you are flying it, this camera is adjustable, so you can point it up or down and change the orientation. So if you're going to be flying in fast forward rate, you point it up, so when it tilts forward, you have a better angle. I don't know if that's still going to be good enough for FPV, but it's worth a shot. So now we're going to go back to the footage from the other day. So we'll put it on the charger and fly it some more, but overall, it's an interesting little quad. Having the iPhone-based controls is not my favorite. I will say I prefer the Eachine 0010 with even the little controls, or a full-size quad for an inexpensive quad, because this is very inexpensive. If you're interested, there is a link below where you can pick one up. I won't say this is the best quad I've ever flown, but it's the only one I've ever flown that used your phone, and the fact that it can do video I can definitely see cases where that could be convenient, and it's really a toy. This is a toy quad, so you have to take that for what it's worth. We're going to be looking at another quad with a camera that I think will be a better solution for me, but for anyone who just wants to pick one up to fly it around and have a camera on it to be able to record, this is a pretty good option. It's really inexpensive. I like the folding arms. I really like that it comes with a bag. That makes it pretty slick. So you can check it out. The extra parts, we haven't needed them yet. We've had some pretty hard crashes, so hopefully it's fairly durable, but it's very inexpensive also. So that's going to be it. Make sure you like, subscribe to this video. Click the up in the corner links at the end to see some of the other video options that we've got out there, some of the other quadcopter options. And remember, if you're going to be a geek, be an elite geek.